This is Cecil Field Naval Air Station in northern Florida. A squadron of naval aviators have been residing at this Jacksonville Air Base for the past 6 months. In just a week, they will be going to their ship. This plane belongs to Sea Control Squadron 31. This squadron is known as the Top Cats. For the Top Cats, 6 months at home, 6 months on the ship is a familiar cycle. When it comes time to leave, the stability of life on land is uprooted by the uncertainty of a carrier deployment. A deployment which at any moment can be disrupted and diverted by a conflict in a distant land. In the austere fiscal environment of the 90s, much of the military hardware developed during the Cold War is rapidly becoming obsolete. In an effort to downsize, the Navy has needed to reduce the variety of aircraft deployed aboard the carrier. Airplanes with specialized missions are being replaced by those whose capabilities are numerous and varied. The Lockheed S-3 Viking is one of the planes likely to maintain a presence aboard U.S. carriers into the next century. Initially designed to fly against the Soviet fleet, the Viking has evolved into arguably the most versatile aircraft in the Navy. In the final week before the carrier deployment, the Top Cats must complete their last phase of workups. The workup cycle is an extensive series of training exercises designed to prepare an entire air wing for any challenges they will encounter during the 6-month cruise. For the Top Cats of Sea Control Squadron 31, this wide array of training exercises reflects the versatility of their plane. One day it may be surface recon. The next may be anti-submarine warfare. With the addition of a buddy refueling store, the Top Cats are equipped to provide aerial refueling. With a stable airframe, a variety of avionics, and passive radar sensors, the Viking is now used in the sophisticated game of electronic warfare. From countermeasures to electronic intelligence, Viking crews are well adapted at reading the enemy. However, today's mission is an old-fashioned one: dropping bombs. Here at the Pine Castle Naval Bombing Range, 120 miles south of Jacksonville, the Top Cats hone their attack skills. The Viking was not initially designed to bomb tanks. However, its intended role in seeking out enemy vessels on or below the surface of the ocean means that it can dive rapidly.
So the S-3 is capable of descending from around 30,000 feet right down to the surface in less than 2 minutes. We don't have very much of a rate of climb, but we can come downhill pretty quickly. And in fact, the pilot has to really be careful not to overspeed the aircraft on a descent and go through our 450-knot limit.
Aside from conventional bombs, the Viking can be equipped with air-to-ground rockets, allowing the pilot to simply aim and shoot. Although the Naval Strike Mission is usually associated with the aging A-6 Intruder or the sleek F-18 Hornet, the Viking is well equipped for this role. Aside from rockets, anti-shipping mines and torpedoes can also be unleashed by the Viking. However, it is the addition of the long-range harpoon missile that gives the Viking its teeth. used in conjunction with inverse synthetic aperture radar, or ISAR. Because ISAR reads only the motion of a given target, it can provide an image of that target. This image will then be automatically cross-referenced within the system's tactical library. If the ship is deemed hostile, the Harpoon may be sent on its way. Because of its ability to seek out targets far away from the fleet, and if necessary, destroy them, the Viking has become the modern equivalent of the scout bombers of the 1930s. However, like the early scouts, the Viking crews have one problem. They cannot defend themselves. The absence of air-to-air weaponry is not really life-threatening when considering that enemy fighters would first need to deal with the Tomcats and Hornets providing the air cover. But in any case, the Viking was designed to be very maneuverable. If an enemy fighter attacks, the pilot's only defense is agility. In reality, the most serious threat comes from anti-aircraft artillery and surface-to-air missiles. Chaff and flares are deployed to confuse the enemy's fire control radar and missile guidance systems. At this point, the primary mission switches from strike to survival.